Hello everyone, and welcome back to today's showcase on Dark Souls 3. Now, I know what you're thinking already. ST, you're already done like too many Lothric Knight weapons. Well, the answer is there's more. There's always more. There's too many damn weapons. And I'm not even covering crossbows. But yes, I do have a large selection of weapons, but they're not horrible weapons either, and some of them are pretty darn good. Now, for today's weapon, I probably should have done it sooner, but it's the Lothric Knight Sword. Now, it's just a plain-looking sword, you might say. Well, I'll tell you. It's a little different than a plain sword. It always is. But yes, you can find this on many enemies. Many of them wield it quite well, I might add. But anyway, description reads: a well-crafted straight sword designed for thrusting attacks, wielded by the venerable Knights of Lothric. Knights of Lothric, with their drakes, once crushed anything that threatened their shores. Of course, that was a long, long time ago. How long ago? Who knows? The lore of Dark Souls is always an enigma. The skill is the plain old stance that most swords share. While in stance, use a normal attack to break a foe's guard from below, a strong attack to slash upwards with a forward lunge. So nothing truly impressive there, of course. Nothing really, no big wow factor for the stance. But oh well. It's still a blade, still awesome. But now visually, it is looking like a plain old-fashioned longsword. But of course, longsword comes in many different shapes and sizes. So for this specific one, based on its dimensions, it is a basic fuller type sword. Which means the middle portion was ground out to increase strength of the blade and increase, swing velocity. See, it's less material, you have less wind resistance, and you swing faster. That's the general idea of these blades. Though, in terms of longsword, it systematically could look like this or any other. There's nothing quite distinctive enough to set it apart from a longsword. There's no one blade that looks exactly like this, when another blade could be the same thing, just different name and dimensions. So yes, longswords get complicated if you want to get identifying them. Otherwise, it uses basic common blade cross sections to go about that. So, moving on to physical, we can see the attack power is, well, the basic physical is like starter weapon grade. However, the bonus is much greater than that. On top of that, we also got 110 critical on a sword? That's right. This is how this weapon starts setting itself apart from the others. It's got better backstab damage and ricochet than other blades. Moving on from that, we got the achievement bonus at 2Ds for strength and dexterity. But given the bonus damage, one of them must be at a C, very close to it. Then we're on to achievement requirements. Then we start to realize, oh, this is a really oddball sword. You need 11 strength, but you need 18 dexterity. Most swords require at least an average of both, like, very equal amount. Sometimes needing more in strength. But no, dexterity goes for this one. Moving on from that, we got the stance, which the basic attack takes 17 FP, and then the power attack takes 20 FP. Nothing truly special or different there. And the weight of the blade is not too heavy, or not too light. It's 4.0. A little bit on the heftier side for most blades, but it's not that heavy at all. Now, the animations, well, no surprise, the basic attack is the same attack for all swords, pretty much. However, the power attack is a repeated series of stabs. Instead of a stab and swing, it's just stabbing. Interesting. Power attack for two-handed is the basic attack for two-handed swords. Nothing special there. Power attack again, though, is stabbing. Huh. Interesting. Their swords don't do stabbing, strictly. The stance, well, you got the plain basic attack, and then you got the power attack. Nothing new there. The sprint attack, well, it's a quick swing like every other sword. Upgrade-wise, this weapon takes 10 Knight Shards. Now, that's pretty basic, and we get a pretty decent upgrade for both categories, 10 for both. And we can see the dexterity bonus goes right to C as well, as I figured it would. But overall, pretty solid upgrade. 10 points nearly every time, 10 to 11 points. Which is an average upgrade. Now we are arrived at and we also noticed along the way that the strength polarity went to C as well. And that's nice. It's very nice, actually. So how well does it perform in field? Well, you got the nimble abilities of a sword, and you got all that jabbing, and back attack ball damage. Let's give it a try. Get behind the enemy. Of course, he never wants me to get behind him. That's a problem with this giant guy. I hate backstabbing this opponent, but there we go. 423 damage. Excellent, compared to most of the swords. Most swords will probably hit around the 360 to just about close to 400 mark. So a little bit more damage for backstabs. And if you can jab right through opponents, it actually got quite a bit of reach there. Longer than a straight sword in terms of, well, you know, basic stabbing. Now, go try the power attack, and we got quite a bit of damage there. Obviously, you can easily see this weapon is not impacted by their armor, or penalized, I should say. I wanted to try and break his shield, but I don't think he's going to really let me. I might not screw with him too much longer if this keeps up. But otherwise, it's a fairly solid weapon to keep using. You can see that the power attacks easily brush his weapon away. And the damage here is 540. Excellent. That's a lot of damage. Now, on to the Gargoyle. I don't expect to break the Gargoyle's shield. This is just a plain, straight sword. It is not a heavy sword. I'm not even going to try. So instead I'll just rely on its nimbleness and quickness to kill the enemy, which does just fine. Against the Black Knights, now again they're always the more challenging opponent, being much more nimble and have much greater reach than I do nearly every time I fight them. Now, getting behind them is not the hardest thing, it's just risky, because their attacks hurt. I don't mind the Great Cathedral Knight. He's pathetic in terms of their attack power. But still, my weapon is just as quick and nimble. So I probably not best to focus on back attacks, just going around his blade and just stabbing him repeatedly. Easy enough. Now moving on to the pros and cons of a Lothric Knight Sword. On the pro side, you got that extra bit of back attack damage, backstab, critical. You also have the quick and nimbleness of a straight sword as well, which is always nice. And it does have unique animations compared to other straight swords. On the con side, to be honest, the only con I can really see about this weapon is the special being the same special as every other blade uses, or every sword. So that's the only true con I can see for this weapon. Moving on to the score of the Lothric Straight Sword, or Knight Sword. Damage gets 7 out of 10, fairly solid damage, along with that backstab. Reach gets 6 out of 10, since it does seem to reach further than a plain longsword. Animation gets 5 out of 10, for having at least those few and unique attacks, compared to all the rest of the boring ones that's shared across all the swords. Bonus gets 8 out of 10, for having 2 C's, for strength and dexterity, and getting a lot of bonus damage out of it. Miscellaneous only gets 4 out of 10, for really offering nothing new, but at least having those unique animations, I guess. So in total, the Lothric Knight Sword gets 30 out of 50. Pretty good, I'd say. So in all, in conclusion, it's a pretty solid sword. If you're going to take a sword to combat, you might as well take this one. It's going to probably outshine the others pretty well. I won't say it's better than every other weapon out there. It's still held back in the general same damage area with the other swords. It has a bit of a leg up from those. Just one leg up though. But hey, it's a pretty good sword. But that's my opinion. Maybe your opinion is different. But that's been today's showcase. I thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you guys next time. Take care out there.